this video, I thought I would take you through my MP3 playlist of quite a lot of the songs I listen to every day. So yeah, this may be a very long video, but it will hopefully relax you as I go along my music playlist. So I use a Sony MP3 Walkman. I can't really see it there, maybe because of the bad lighting I'm using, but anyways, I got this probably in 2009, 2008 maybe, but it's endured a very long time, and it has served me well listening to my tunes. And yes, for those of you who don't know, I don't use an iPhone or any of those Samsung huge screens. I guess I'm not that hip, techno hip as some people would call it. I still have my cassette Walkman somewhere in my room. I've been wanting to take it out to do some ASMR type triggers, just with those rewinding and forwarding sounds you get when you hear the tape going forwards and backwards. Anyways, I'm rambling on about the wrong thing here, so let's get started on my playlist. And so a little info about me. I don't really belong to one particular genre, I suppose. I leapfrog from one genre to the next in my music selection, so don't be surprised if I go from, say, classical into metal. But recently, I can take it easy because I know some of you out there listen to both classical and metal type stuff. Yeah. So this first album is just a miscellaneous group of songs that I couldn't fit into my album playlists. So yeah, there's that, and the first soundtracker CD album I have on here is Casino Royale. It's good music by David Arnold, I think it is. And yeah, I just love some of the new tunes that he brought out for that particular film. Next we have Johnny Cash, and I have a few of his songs on this album. Probably Man in Black is my favorite. I think you're starting to see my tastes vary from album to album here. Next we have how do you say his name? Tchaikovsky. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong, but it's the music you hear in V for Vendetta. I was just drawn to that because of that film. Yeah. Next is 300, just the one song. Next, excuse me, is the 5, 6, 7, 8s. I don't know if you can clearly see that, but I don't know, maybe you can. anyways, these lovely ladies were used in the Kill Bill Volume 1 movie. And I think I Walk Like James Mansfield is probably my favorite on this album. Next is the Blood of Chile, I think. But yeah, this is the Irish, Celtic music that you hear. And Boondock Saints opening scene. It's a good song by Mac Aldena. Next is some songs from A Clockwork Orange. Just some odd tracks I like to listen to. Thieving Magpies. Good classical piece by Rossini. Next is sorry, let me hold that up so you can see it better. And you can see my battery is kind of running low, so next I'll probably have to charge my battery up again. Next, Al Jolson, I'm Sitting on Top of the World. I just listen to that if I need a daily inspiration of encouragement during the day. Alice in Wonderland soundtrack from 1951. So yeah, it has different tracks from the Disney cartoon on here. Probably my favorite is Painting the Roses Red. Next, and probably as you can see, my Alice in Wonderland book right here. And I should have brought out my Jabberwocky. I'm just kidding, I don't have a Jabberwocky. That would be pretty cool if I did. Next is the Amazing Grace soundtrack. I can't remember who composed this, but it's a really good piece. Oh, it was David Arnold. Okay. Next is another Johnny Cash album. Man Comes Around and Hurt. Just 2 songs on that one. Next is the, well, whenever I'm feeling kind of patriotic-ish, I turn to this album and then I set my main image of Captain America. Yeah. As far as an explanation for this, Captain America is one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. I just like his background, in a sense that he was a skinny guy, like myself, and he was turned into this super soldier. Anyways, I just like his background story. You like Huey Lewis in the News? So next is a song from American Psycho. As you can see, I put the image of Patrick Bateman next to his stereo system as he's about to kill poor Paul with an axe. Anyways, just enjoy listening to this song whenever I'm feeling down and I need a pep piece of music to brighten my day. Next is Johnny Cash, God's Gonna Cut You Down song. After that, it's Angels and Demons, done by Hans Zimmer. Yeah, it's recently saw called Ballad. It's a pretty cool Japanese film, and the music is really beautiful. It's one of the things that drew me to the movie when I started researching it. I heard this piece of music because it's done by the same guy who does Sword of the Stranger. And if you know the movie Sword of the Stranger, that music is really well done. It's done by Naoki Sato. Yeah, he's a very good composer. One of the newer ones I've just heard about. Next is the Barry Lyndon soundtrack, a film by Stanley Kubrick, as well as Clockwork Orange. So this movie has various classical themes in it, which I really like. I sometimes listen to it whenever I'm working on art or going on a stroll around the neighborhood. I don't know, whatever purposes I use it for. But it's very good classical music. George Friedrich Heitl. That's probably one of my favorites on here. Okay, next we're going into the Bat Arena. Some of my Batman themes. So this just has a couple on it, done by Jam in the Markets. They're kind of a rockabilly type group that does a version of the Batman 1966 theme. Sorry, just let me readjust here. Okay, next is the Batman Arkham Asylum soundtrack. So yeah. This was done by Nick Arundel, I think. Or maybe, I think Nick Arundel did Batman Arkham City. I don't know who did Batman Arkham Asylum. In terms of composition, I mean. But Nick Arundel did do Batman Arkham City right here. Show you the cover art. Yeah. It's a good soundtrack. Next is Batman Begins soundtrack. These two I put together myself of starting with the opera theme, going into Bruce's tragedy, and then when he eventually becomes Batman, are three themes that I mixed together because I enjoy hearing the music chronologically, so to speak. And yeah, I just make my own little mix compositions and download them onto my MP3. This is just for laughs because I enjoy hearing Mark Hamill's Joker laugh every now and then. Oops. There we go. Next is just an interesting music video I saw a while back of the Joker, and it's done by Motorhead, and it's called Smiling Like a Killer. If you guys look that song up on YouTube, check it out. But it's only about Jack Nicholson's Joker, not Heath Ledger's. I just thought that was an interesting pick of Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger together. Both of their Jokers are equally impressive in performance. Next is the Batman the Animated Series soundtrack, composed by Shirley Walker. It wasn't done by Danny Elfman, although Danny Elfman did do the original Batman theme in 1989. He let, or It's not a very long-lasting theme, but I still enjoy it. Next is random tracks from Batman 1966. I think my favorite one on here is The Riddler, song done by Frank Gorshin, who is the original Edward Nygma. And yeah, I think I like Frank Gorshin the best as the Riddler, just of his kooky nature and compulsive addiction to give Batman the hardest riddles imaginable, even though they're pretty corny in the 1966 show. They're still a good laugh. Next is basic trailer music that I heard on the Batman Arkham City game release. So, the fanboy that I am, I just instantly gravitate to some of the music they put out. And I really like, if you check out Batman Arkham Asylum Play as the Joker trailer, the background music for that is really creepy and carnival creepy. In a sense, it's about the Joker, and you're playing as the Joker and his psychotic nature. Anyways, rambling on, as I do. Just check it out and you'll know what I'm talking about. Next is the Batman Mask of the Phantasm soundtrack. It's a very, very good soundtrack. Animated movie. I think I have it around here somewhere. Moving on. The Batman 1966 movie soundtrack. Yeah. Next is some of Beethoven's pieces of music. I just have him as a silhouette on my cover there. Brilliant composer for his time. Next is Village Bridge. I think he's Italian. Or I don't know. He's European. You guys can let me know where this guy is from, but he does a really awesome piece of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. And it's called Piano Overture, but it's the Moonlight Sonata done by Ludwig van Beethoven. It's an excellent speed metal version, and this guy, Village Bridge, is a very good keyboard slash piano player. Yeah, check him out. He did it also along with Symphony X, that version. Next is Beethoven's Symphony Number 5. You know, the one that goes. Next is Beethoven, the Ninth Symphony. Just pretty much the longest one, I think. And this one's kind of the best bits of the Ninth Symphony. It's a cool little piece of artwork I added on there for the cover art. Next is the Rolling Stone Street Fighting Man. Need a little Rolling Stones in my MP3, but I don't have Painted in Black on here. Why didn't I put that on here? Damn it. That's like my favorite Rolling Stone song, Painted Black. Anyways, Casey and the Sunshine Sunshine Band. I'm your boogeyman. Yeah, I know how to get my groove on. Next is just a series of games, game music, and there's Cloud, as I chosen for my cover art of RPG themes. So yeah. Next is an album done by the Scorpions, Big City Nights. I think this was my very first rock album that I bought. Yeah, the Scorpions were my introduction into the decade known as the 80s. 80s metal. Okay. I need a quick break for a second. I recently got these little Japanese candies, and they're called Gummy Choco, done by Meiji, and they're really tasty. So I just need a little pick-me-up to keep this video going. I'll show you what they look like. Little egg treats. Oval shaped. I don't know if I can show you what they're like on the inside. Hang on a sec. Here's what they look like inside. Kind of chocolatey pieces. But yeah, these are really good. And I have to tell myself to stop eating these because I'm saving some Japanese candy for my next L video. So, only a little bit this time. You can see a cute little chick and an egg. This one looks like a penguin. Anyways, enough of that. Let's move on. The Blazing Saddles soundtrack. Can you tell I'm only in the B's right now? Can you imagine how long this is gonna take me? Oh. Anyways, Blazing Saddles album. And it's the Lily Von Stupp song of when she sings I'm Tired. I love that song. Next is the Bleach soundtrack #1. I haven't listened to this in a while, but I should. Let's see, next is the Bleach soundtrack #2. There's Ichigo with his Sangetsu transformation. I can't imagine how many times Johnny Young Bosch has had to say the line, Getsuga Tenjo. That's just like the most continuous line you hear from Ichigo and from Bleach as a series and whole. I mean, anyways, I must be trying for someone like him. He has to say it every single time in every single episode. when you hear the Cars, I think it is, or the Espada, that's their sort of main theme, is the Spanish guitar and the twangy Western type sound, which I really enjoy. I think my favorite song on this one is Clavar la Espada. That one's the best, in my opinion. Next is Bleach soundtrack number 4. Not that many tracks on this one, but still a good soundtrack. And Bleach. This one has the Diamond Dust Rebellion and the first Bleach movie songs on it as well. Next is Bonnie M. Some funky 70s music. Anyways, yeah. But still, they did do a really good version on Got It Davida. I think it is. Let me check. Yeah, Got It Davida. Next is, one of my favorite artists, Voltaire, Aurelio Voltaire. I think I was introduced to his music when I was watching one particular episode of Billy and Mandy's, or the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, I mean. Yeah, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. He's only done a couple of songs for that show, but he did this one called Brains. And yeah, it's a good song if you guys want to check it out. Brains, I won't lie. I'll eat your brains till I'm zombified. It's the only lyric I can remember at this moment. Next is the Boondock Saints soundtrack. Yeah, the McManus brothers. When are they coming out with number 3? Anyways. I hope Troy Duffy is able to make another one soon. But yeah, that's a great soundtrack. Boondock Saints 2, All Saints Day soundtrack. This one has a pretty cool cover art on it with Il Duce and the McManus brothers. Yeah. Il Duce's the best. Next is a soundtrack from Bruce Lee and the Big Boss. I love the old 70s / 80s kung fu movies. But yes, Bruce Lee is the king when it comes to kung fu. Next is Firewind, and the song is called I Am the Anger. I listened to this song when I saw a video somebody had done about Magneto, and it just really resonated a lot with me, and I can relate a lot to that song. And Magneto. Next is the Captain America soundtrack by Alan Silvestri. He's done the Predator soundtrack, the Van Helsing soundtrack, and he's done a lot more. Oh, did the Avengers soundtrack. What am I thinking? Next is a renditions on the You Know My Name opening song from Casino Royale. That's probably the best Bond theme in my opinion. If You Know My Name, done by David Arnold. No. Is it David Arnold? Yeah, I think it's David Arnold. Who did that song? Okay. Next is some Celtic tunes. I'm pretty sure I have Scotland the Brave on here. Yes, I do. I'm probably one of the few people that listens to bagpipes, but the more the merrier in my opinion. If you guys like bagpipes, that's awesome. Some more Scottish tunes. This one was sung by Billy Connolly, and he has a really good singing voice, in my opinion. Anyways, next one is Nightwish. That's a rendition on Phantom of the Opera. So yeah, that's probably the only song I like by Nightwish is this Phantom of the Opera song. Still, good band, I'm not discounting their music. I just really like that song. Next is Chick Habit by April March. She's kind of a rockabilly guitarist, singer, musician. That song can be heard in the movie Death Proof, filmed by Quentin Tarantino. Next is some Christmas tunes. You know, just to have Andy when the season comes around. I need some Trans-Siberian Orchestra to help me through the season. Oh, I love Carol of the Bells. I'd totally forgotten about that song. Yeah, I'm totally gonna get into that when it comes Christmas time. Next is some classical ultraviolence. Okay, as you can see, I've used Alex from Clockwork Orange as my cover photo for this. If you guys understand this reference, you're more than welcome to call me out on it and say, hey, I know what that is. But anyways, I used that photo to give somewhat of an inspirational sense from that movie of all the classical pieces you hear in there. And these are just some basic classical themes from Prom. And who else? Well, a lot of classical stuff, Tchaikovsky, and yeah, probably Beethoven as well, and Mozart. But yeah, it just illustrates that depiction of when he's being forced to watch all those crazy images. I kind of find myself listening to classical music. Anyways, I've got my own mindset, and you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but if you do, that's... you get 100 points. Next is just a weird album of clown carnival music. You know, since I'm really into the Joker, I need some creepy clown music. good composer. I know he's done other stuff, I just can't place it at the moment. Next is some Yngwie Malmsteen. He does some neo-classical type guitar, instrumental stuff, which is really awesome. My favorite is Prelude to April Toccata. It's a really good one. Oops. Next is the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Yeah, I got a lot of Cowboy Bebop songs on here. There's another one. Another Cowboy Bebop, Cowboy Bebop, Cowboy Bebop. This one has Ed on it, which I really like. Edward and Hein. Cute couple. This one is a Scorpions album. Oh, why am I doing that? There's no picture. Yeah, Scorpions, In Between the Eyes. Another good song. Next is Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core soundtrack. Move to my other hand here real quick. Yeah, there's Zack in the foreground. Yeah, it's a good mix of classical and heavy beats. This is done by, let me switch my hand, a group called Ski Whiff. They do a remix version of Man of Constant Sorrow from the Oh Brother Where Art Thou soundtrack. But yeah, check that song out if you guys don't know it. Good song. Next is the Death Note soundtrack, number 1. And my favorite one on here, of course, is L's theme. Yeah. Ryuzaki, aka Noliet. And Death Note soundtrack number 2. There I am. I'm trying to see how I can work on my L voice for my next video. I'm probably going to use a green screen and do some kind of dark setting where I'm kind of thinking, or thinking about solving a case or eating some Japanese treats, of course, along the way. But yeah, I'll come up with something good. That's something in my throat there. Next is the Bleach. Where am I going? The Death Note soundtrack number 3. I don't know why my mind was on Bleach there. Had anime on my head. yeah, let's keep going. Next is another Bruce Lee soundtrack of Fists of Fury. Mike Dios. And another Fists of Fury. Joseph Koo, who did the opening. Well, he does the lyrical song of Fists of Fury, which is a cool rendition. And another Bruce Lee, the Big Boss soundtrack. I love his expression right there. Don't fuck with Lee. Alright, this one may be something you guys know. Is the Equilibrium movie soundtrack. And I'm gonna kind of give a special shout out to Jennifer Quisnell, or Sariana Quisnell, because she really likes Equilibrium. We both like Equilibrium, I should say. Excuse me. Anyways, the music is done by Klaus Pedelt, who's a really good composer. I just watched the Solomon Kane movie, and he did the music for that as well, and for Pirates of the Caribbean, I believe. But I think this one holds a special place in my heart. It's kind of a Gregorian meets classical techno music. Yeah, that fits the bill. Anyways, this is one of my favorite soundtracks, Equilibrium. And if you're watching this, Jennifer, you'll have my permission to nerdgasm. Okay. Next is the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea soundtrack. It's probably me. I'm stumbling over my words here, guys. Which signifies I need to cut this video in half. The 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea soundtrack. My favorite, one of my favorite Disney movies is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Okay, next is Final Fantasy VII. I know it says Eisen on there for some odd reason, but it was from a video that had to find the classical Sephiroth theme in order to find it. I know. My body's doing weird stuff. Okay. Next is the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children soundtrack. And there it is again. This one is the Final Fantasy VII original soundtrack with Cloud and you know her name. Next is Final Fantasy X2, I believe. And there's Yuna. Does a cool version of Otherworld. And next is the Final Fantasy X soundtrack. That's very good composition, I have to say. Next is the Final Fantasy XII soundtrack. In actual truth, it's the first Final Fantasy game I actually completed. Yeah. I know. I played Final Fantasy VIII back in the day, but I never could get past the, I think it was guess it's the Shing theme. It's kind of blings and, what's her name? Oh crap, why can't I remember her name? Anyways, the girl that follows Ling around in the series, who is his bodyguard. It's a cool theme for ninjas like me. The Seven Nation Army theme. G.I. Joe. Next is Bruce Lee, Game of Death soundtrack. Yeah. And of course, who doesn't have Gangnam Style on there? MP3. I haven't listened to that in a while. Oh yes, one of my favorites on here. The Gargoyle soundtrack. Seriously. I don't understand why Disney hasn't made a Gargoyles movie yet, or whoever has the rights now over that series. They haven't spearheaded that yet. Anyways, the music is done by Carl Johnson. Next is Ghost in the Shell soundtrack, standalone complex, series 1.